Our first video clip is with Katie and her mom, Tina. Please listen to their discussion, and then we will have each of the agency representatives share how and when they might be able to provide services and supports to Katie in efforts to get her a job, hopefully a job when she gets out of high school. So what we're going to do is start with this clip, and then Cindy will run the clip for us, and when we're done, we'll have each of you respond to it.
Your name is Katie?
Yeah.
And I'm Tina, and I'm your mom, right?
Yep.
Okay, so what things do you like to do most?
Thanksgiving.
But what else? What else do you enjoy doing?
Play
Listening.
with a puppy.
And you like music. Katie really likes, how old are you?
15.
Yes. And when are you going to be 16?
Next birthday.
Right. What month is that?
July.
Okay. So, and where do you go to school?
Simmons Middle School.
Where are you now? That was last year. Where are you now?
Central.
That's right. Okay. So you are a freshman in high school, and Katie has autism. And so she has some supports at school. You have a one-on-one, right? Right? And what does she help you do? What does Miss K help you do? Does she help in
Food.
in foods class? Okay. Yep. And what kind of job do you think you'd like to have?
Music.
Something to do with music, because you love music so much,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And Katie loves to be around people. So a job where she could talk to people and help people, right?
No kissing.
No kissing during COVID. That's right. That's right. But you could do a job where you helped people, right?
Yeah.
Would that be fun?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready to go?
I want to show a new puppy.
Okay, maybe later. Is there anything else you want to say about things you like to do
No.
or what you'd like to do when you're done with high school? You think
No.
of something you'd like to do with a job coach?
No.
Work at a certain place?
No.
Maybe not till later?
Not too later.
Okay. Anything else you can think of that would be something you wouldn't want to do?
Introduce yourself.
Oh, introduce myself. I already said my name is Tina and I'm
No.
your mom.
No. And what things I could do?
Things I like to do. I like to go to concerts with you and do music stuff with you.
Yeah.
It's one of our favorite things, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Newsboys.
And that's one of your favorites?
Yes.
Yes.
And I love one another.
Is that your favorite song?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I want
Well,
to show
thank you. Okay.
I want to show a puppy.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay. So my husband and I see Katie in our ideal world where she would have independent enough skills to live on her own, but with some supports. Whether that be somebody coming in helping her, with her budget, with her grocery shopping, just daily living skills. Right now, though, since she's only 15, I feel like she's going to be with us for quite some time. But she's learning more and more in school, and I see more supports coming in to help her gain those independent living skills, so that maybe someday she can have that independence to just be more free to make her choices. And right now she's loving on her dog, and that's her choice, and that would be something she'd probably want to continue, because she's always had a dog to give her companionship and some responsibility. So I guess that's where I see her. So far, the skills at school that they've been learning, she's in a foods class now, and I want her to have more inclusion things to learn those skills.
Okay, that was Katie and her mom, Tina. And so we'll just start with Aaron, and you can kind of let us know what what types of services, supports you might be able to provide for her.
Well, I think the first thing that we would want to do with Tina is to establish a resource team. So we would want to identify who she's working with vocational rehabilitation, teachers that are important to her and her development in the school, her parents, other community members who she has a good relationship with that is interested in seeing her be successful. Once we have that resource team developed, the thing that DLR can bring to the table is our wide connection to the business community. What we're excellent at is pairing individuals with businesses who are willing to give them a number of different types of experiences. One thing that I get really excited about is when we do job shadows with people, especially people who've never had a formal job before. We can take them to the place of business. They can spend up to 8 hours at each business and get paid to do it. So this is the very basic expectations of what a job is, to be at a place, to meet those expectations. But it's a great way to kind of ease individuals into that, those workplace expectations. The other thing we'd want to make sure is that Tina is connected with all the resources in that community that are available to her. So we would reach out to nonprofits, other state or even federal programs that can provide those resources to help Tina be successful. I think that would probably be our biggest contribution, is to help form a team, help connect her with resources, and then to bring business sponsors in the community. That's the base of career exploration for so many. We have assessments, and assessments are well and good, but seeing and putting your hands on things sometimes, that's where that real understanding of what it's going to be like in that profession comes from. So the opportunities are limitless for Tina, and it's very exciting for her.
So for her to be able to connect with you, what steps would she need to take?
Well, I missed where Tina was going to school, but right now, the Department of Labor is in phase 2 of our Career Launch program. That means we're going to be in over 60 schools in person, walking the halls, making connections with the students. All she has to do is grab them when they're going by. We'll be talking to the special ed teachers. We'll be talking to vocational rehabilitation and trying to make those partnerships, because there's no reason that Tina shouldn't take advantage of every opportunity that's available to her. So there's a lot of ways. Another way is just to call your local office. Just about every town in South Dakota has an office that is serving it. So we're here. We could start today. We don't have to wait until we're active in our school.
Perfect. Thanks, Aaron. So Allison.
Yeah, so kind of going off of what Aaron said at the beginning, looking at collaborating with other teams, other agencies that maybe she is currently working with. That's a huge role that we like to play with our agency, is collaborating together, seeing what kind of support we can give Katie and her parents as well. So a couple things that I kind of thought would be great for Katie is Tina kind of expressed learning those independent living skills. That is one of our big programs that we do provide our service. We would do the one-on-one teaching with a specialist. So we would teach maybe cooking, budgeting. I know she kind of expressed with learning how to budget, maybe cooking some different meals when she is out on her own. One thing that is an awesome where she is at her age is we could start that right now, learning and teaching those skills. That way, when she is ready to be on her own, she knows those skills. We could continuously work on those as well. Another one is peer support. Maybe having her attend a peer support group. We do that at least once a month. All of our offices in South Dakota provide a support group. We can also provide her a one-on-one peer support visitor. So how that looks is the person may contact her once a month and just kind of see how she's doing, what she wants to maybe talk about. Like she likes to talk about her dog, so that would be kind of a huge fun one for her to talk about. Another one is our summer transition program. I think that would be a really good program for her to attend. Meeting new people, building friendships, learning those independent living skills. And lastly, we could always work on advocacy, learning how to speak up for herself, maybe work on some different scenarios that maybe she might approach out in the community. So yeah, I really think that, you know, with ILC, we could start today, just like Erin said, and kind of getting in contact with her team and seeing what best supports we can provide her.
Well, great. So do you get to attend IEP meetings then to kind of help with the development of a plan for a student that at that age?
Yep, we certainly can. Just right now with COVID, we're not able to enter the school districts, but we can attend via Zoom or on the phone, whatever the team would prefer, as long as they would like us to attend.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Katie and Emily.
So there are a lot of services that vocational rehabilitation can provide for Katie. The first thing we'd want her to do is apply for our services. And then if she is eligible, there are many that we can offer. We have a program called eTrack, which is a virtual program that can help with starting to learn those soft skills, start the conversations about those skills she'd need to be successful in work. We also have a virtual job shadow program that she could participate in to explore potential jobs and careers. A big service that we provide to high school students once they turn 16 is called Project Skills, and that's a work experience program. So Katie could participate in that, and we try and find work experiences that go along with her interests. So for her, it might be looking at music stores or maybe a radio station, a community theater, since she likes music so much. Depending on her location, Project Search is also a program that she might be able to participate in. That is a internship program for the last year of high school for students. Also, like some of the other individuals were saying, working as a team with other agencies is really important too. So providing those referral services would be a big part of what we do with Katie, whether that be contacting an independent living center, other adult services like community support person, Division of Developmental Disabilities for adult services. And then I know Rhonda's going to talk here soon, but also connecting her with a benefits specialist if they are interested in applying for disability related services, Social Security in the future. So we are definitely wanting to be part of that resource team too that Erin was talking about.
So do you too, Emily, do you work with the IEP team then in developing some of these transition plans? You can go to those meetings? Yes,
definitely. As a rehabilitation counselor, we definitely want to be very involved in that transition in those conversations. So as long as the team wants us there and we're invited, we are definitely part of those meetings. Like Allison said, with COVID right now, not necessarily in person, but any way that we can be there, we definitely want to be.
Great, thank you. And we hear a lot of discussion too around the pre-ETS, the pre-employment transition services. Would she be a student that might participate in some kind of a program with Voc Rehab within the school district, within their own school?
I'll let Katie comment on that.
Yes, pre-employment transition services are very comparable to the transition services that high schools are required to provide. And all of the services that Emily mentioned in her description are all considered pre-employment transitions, because it's 5 areas. It's career exploration, it's instruction and self-advocacy, like Allison mentioned. It's work-based learning experiences that Erin and Emily talked about. It's counseling on post-secondary opportunities that are available. And that's not necessarily going to a vocational institute or a four-year college, but around the state of South Dakota, there's a lot of 18 to 21 programs that are available that students can, once they're done with their educational requirements, they can still receive school funding to continue working on those independent living and employability skills through a variety of programs with their school district, or even a program like Project Search that Emily mentioned, which is that internship program that is held at a host business. So like here in Sioux Falls, we've got a Project Search site at Avera McKinnon. We also have one at Grand Living here in Sioux Falls. Up in Aberdeen, it's at the Avera Hospital there. In Brookings, it's at South Dakota State University. And out in Rapid City, it's at the regional hospital out there, as well as a site in Sturgis. So again, and they're really focusing on those employability skills and getting those students connected with those adult service providers to make sure that once the high school is done with funding, there's still supports available to get those students what they need to be successful adults.
Thank you, Katie and Emily. And so, Rhonda, Emily discussed a little bit about benefits in her presentation. If you want to follow up now, Rhonda, and share about how you might be able to support her.
Yeah, so first off, I would just ask some basic questions about whether or not they have ever applied for disability benefits and what they anticipate Emily's future work would look like. I would just explain the basics of the benefits, what the eligibility is for somebody under the age 18, and if she isn't getting it right now, why that is. I would also talk about what Social Security is. You know, if somebody can't support themselves from work alone, that's when they might want to think about applying for disability benefits. I would also give a little bit of information about MAWD, Medical Assistance for Workers with Disabilities. A lot of times people don't know about that and what that program is, the full Medicaid, and that, you know, not everybody who has a disability has to apply for benefits at 18. I would just kind of go over some basics with that. I would encourage them to keep my number and to call when she's getting close to the age of 18. I would also make sure that they are working with an organization like Independent Living Choices, and just let them know that I don't help people apply, but Independent Living Choices does. And then after they become eligible, that's when we can help and to explain the benefits. I also go over the basics of benefits before somebody is thinking about applying, because that's really important as well. I would also ask some questions about any programs that Katie is working with right now. I'd want to make sure that they knew about the family support waiver if they weren't already working with them. That is a great program that can help that youth to, well, as they're going through high school, but then in the transition phase as well. I would also give them ask some basic questions about what programs they are utilizing, and then talk about the ABLE accounts. A lot of times families are already working with family support, and if somebody is working with family support, then they have Medicaid, and so they have to follow the Medicaid rules. And I'd want to make sure that they knew about ABLE accounts, and that is something that they should definitely look at helping their child set up so that they can start saving money so that they can have a safety net. So I would go over a lot of those basic points, or a lot of that basic information. And then again, make sure that they are working with local rehab. So I would really try to connect them with other organizations and make sure that they have my number for when that child gets close to 18.
Sounds great, Rhonda. Now you mentioned the age 18 several times. Why is that so significant?
Oh, yeah. So when a child is under the age of 18, even if they have a disability and want to apply for Social Security benefits, even if they have a significant disability, and that would be a qualifying factor for the benefit, parents' income affects whether or not that child can start receiving SSI. and the Medicaid that goes with it. But once that child turns age 18, then Social Security does still look at the medical condition to decide if they can start drawing that benefit. But they do not look at parents' income anymore to decide eligibility. So a lot of youth, when they turn 18, that's when they apply for Social Security disability benefits. And again, a lot of times parents will apply for benefits for the Medicaid coverage so that that child has access to different adult programs. But if, I always tell people, if you think that your child cannot work and support themselves on income alone, that's when they should think about applying for disability benefits, because that's what it is to help people to pay for basic living expenses when they can't work or can't work full time. So I kind of have that conversation of where they see their child, what they see their child doing as far as work in school once they turn 18.
Great. Well, you know, and just to kind of follow up, is there, my understanding is that you're not going to assist somebody in applying for a benefit, but is there another agency, does someone else assist with that? That a parent, say Tina says, well, we'd like to apply, but I might need some help. Who can they go to get some help to apply for benefits?
Absolutely. So yes, benefit specialists, we are forbidden. We cannot help anybody apply for benefits. But I always tell people that Independent Living Choices will help them with that application process, because it is a very long, detailed application. But I also tell them that even if they don't want help with the entire process, they should really contact Independent Living Choices and get some basic information about what Social Security is looking at and what some of those different questions on the application, what they're looking for. A lot of times parents don't understand some of the basics. And so I always encourage them to call Independent Living Choices just to get some basics.